All right, guys. Today we have Coach Michael Courville. He's a defensive coordinator over at Carencro High School, and they're the 4A state champs in 2020. He's gonna go over some of their 4-3 stuff and kind of a little bit on their personnel. Kind of where they like to put their kids. So, Coach, take it away.
All right, Coach. First thing, I want to thank you, Coach. I've been going to coaching clinics my entire life, really in middle school with my dad, and to have the opportunity to present is pretty sweet and pretty surreal for me. And I hope we make a positive impact, for our program, and hopefully help some of you guys out. Okay. So again, like you said, Coach, give it the coordinator at Carencro High School. If anybody needs my email, okay, it's here. It's macourville01@LPSS online. And on Twitter, it's at Mikey Courville. Okay.
Done with this? Okay, exit out.
My personal philosophy. Okay. So I became defensive coordinator towards the end of summer, and I'm starting to write up call sheets and things like that. And I'm pretty nervous. So I'm looking up different quotes to kind of get me ready. And one that really stood out to me was by Coach Tom Landry. And it said, leadership is a matter of having people look at you and gain confidence, seeing how you react. If you're in control, they're in control. And that's something that I kind of applied now in the coordinator role. I was a little nervous, not sure, and the kids seeing me confident help them gain confidence and vice versa. And that helped me out a whole bunch. Coming from a little bit of a baseball background, I've always been a big fan of Coach Matt Deggs, who we have at UL. And he said a few years ago, you need them more than they need you. And I've definitely applied that into my coaching. I feel like those kids, for me to get my best, all right, they need to have their best and vice versa. This season, I had to grow up a good bit, like I said, becoming a coordinator, being at a young age. And if it wasn't for those kids, I don't think I'd be where I'm at now. Okay, I'm only 25 years old, but this past season was huge for me and my development and maturation. And I have to thank those kids for that. Okay, another thing from Coach Deggs as well is never, ever be afraid to be embarrassed in front of your guys. And I have here at WWE that the kids know that I'm a wrestling nerd. And on my call sheets each week, I'll put a wrestler or whatever I feel like it's for that week. I had Ric Flair on there. I've had Stone Cold, The Rock, and I'll kind of tell the kids why I chose that particular wrestler, but it kind of gives me a little confidence going into the game. And then something else, Proverb 22:6, train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it. That's something that I fully believe in. If we can get our guys to act a certain way and to do things the right way, hopefully down the line, it'll be the same thing in their lives as they become men. And then the number one thing that I think our program has changed for the better is now absolutely everything is about the kids. If you make the program solely focused on the kids and the kids getting better and the kids developing, I think that'll make a huge difference in the program. Okay, right here's a thing we have in all of our defensive stuff. Okay, it's consistency versus randomness. Okay, if you're going to do the same things repetitively over time, keep working at it, keeping at it, you're going to get better at it. Okay, it's those times where you have a lot of randomness. One day we're doing this, next week we're doing this. We want to be a 4-3, now we want to be a 3-4. If you keep doing the same things over and over, you're going to get better at it. And that's something that we apply to not only our team, but our program. Okay, our defensive philosophy, okay, we want to be physical, we want to be competitive, and we want to be sound. That's something that's throughout our program. That's something that we fully believe at. If we have a 6'3", 250-pound in, and the next year we have a 5'9", 170, if he's physical and he's competitive and he's sound, we got a chance. So that's the one thing. If we're going to focus in on defense, we got to make these kids understand that they want to play. They got to be physical. They got to compete, and they got to do things the way we ask them to do it. Our overall philosophy as a defense, we're attacking. Okay, we're very aggressive. We want to be downhill on the run, and we want to be very tight to routes in the secondary. All right, we defend the middle of the field. The quickest way to get beat in the run game or in the passing game is through the middle of the field. And we understand that. So depending if we want to go with a 2 high look or 1 high look, depending on who we got that week. But no matter what, the first thing we got to do is defend the middle of the field. Okay, with that being said, we want the force throws to be short and outside. We don't want to give up the seams. We don't want to give up post. Okay, and with that being said, too, we do things a certain way. Okay, it's not my way. It's not going to be the player's way. It's going to be the Carencro way. There's a certain standard of excellence that we got to do. Okay, if we want to win week in and week out, and we have to operate at, and we got to play Carencro defense. Simply put, well, I'll bring up defensive stuff from the past. Okay, and how in our program we were good defensively for many years. Okay, and those kids understand that we got to live up to that standard and exceed it. And especially now moving forward that we've had some success. Okay, we got to do things the Carencro way. Like I said, it's not my way or their way. It's just the way that we operate. And we have to operate at a very high standard if we want to win. Going back to our team goals, I actually copied this from my call sheet for our team goals for the season. We actually accomplished 13 points per game, which was huge. Okay. We have all this, coach, and I like to use this, and I'll read them out during the game. Okay. If we come out there 3 and out, I'm letting them know, all right, that's 1 down. We got 3 more to go if we want to win. Yeah. And our kids understand that certain goals, if we accomplish them, we should win the game. Okay. And they take a lot of pride in trying to get takeaways and 3 and outs and stopping the run. We did a pretty good job all year, against the run. And there's a few times, I have here communicate, line up, and go to work. Well, there's some games we're not communicating very well. We're not lining up very well. Well, then therefore we're not playing extremely well. So the kids know, even as basic as just talking and lining up, that's a goal. All right. We have to accomplish that if we want to win. We have to accomplish that if we want to succeed. And the kids understand that. Okay. And one thing that I do with the goals are here. I have goose eggs. So the kids kind of ran with it. We had a great start, obviously, early on against West Monroe, and we had a shutout. Well, then that Saturday morning, I brought them donuts. Okay. And then from that point forward, we had a deal going on. And I have here weekly, make it challenging, but realistic. So obviously, you're not going to have a shutout every week. Okay. So set a realistic goal of what it is you think that your defense can do that week. Okay, make it realistic, not something that's, holding everybody to 0. It's not going to happen. All right. But if your goal that week is to hold them under 13 or under 14 and they do it, you got to bring it. I had to bring it. 1 week, the goal was a shutout. We felt pretty good about our opponent that week. And at the tail end, our backups gave up some points. Well, the kids knew, and my assistant said, hey, coach, man, you didn't get them donuts? I'm like, man, they didn't reach their goal. I had to stick to my guns. That they played extremely well for a majority of the game, but we didn't finish. So our kids didn't get that Saturday morning, treat like we do for film. So the kids love that. 1 week, I know we South Louisiana. 1 week I brought Boudin when we played very well. It can come to be a little pricey, but if you set goals that are challenging, we shouldn't be spending money, that often. But I think the kids really enjoyed that. They at one point during the season at halftime, they broke on goose egg, and something that we didn't even talk about. So I think the kids kind of got a little bit of pride about themselves as we moved on. All right, now we're going to talk about what we're looking for at each position group. Okay, and then I'll show you guys a little bit of film. But the first thing, D-line, obviously, we want to get off the ball. Okay, I've been a D-line guy the last couple of years. I'm starting to really, really love, that position group and overall. This season, I'm moving to linebackers, but I think a little piece of my heart is going to be with my linemen now. But number one thing we want to do is we want to get off the ball. Okay, we want to hit him before he hits you. We're going to reset and dominate the line of scrimmage. If we're getting off the ball and staying low, we should have a chance in our 4-3 and holding our gaps. Okay, we should have a good job of resetting the line of scrimmage and dominating it if we just getting off the ball. If we're hitting him before he hits you, the line of scrimmage is taken care of. Okay, one thing that the kids will hear me saying a bunch is again and again and again. And that all that means, coach, is just I say it, but then I understand that we got to continue to do it every single snap. Just because you do it one snap, that's great. But the next one could be a touchdown. Okay, or one snap, we get a 3 and out and we kind of get a little lax. Well, then they might gash us to 15. Okay, the linemen have to have pressure put upon them the entire time. And I always say it right here, the game is on us up front. It always is. Think about what game, any football game, all right, that you've been a part of or seen where the defensive line wasn't extremely important. I mean, there's an emphasis on D lineman. There's a reason why on the NCAA top 300 players every year, it seems like it's a defensive end. Okay, in my opinion, is obviously you have your quarterbacks and things like that, but the defensive line unit is probably the most important position on the field, and it doesn't get talked about enough. You know, sometimes I think sometimes guys just kind of throw them out there, a D-line guy, whatever it is. But you got to have some pride. I think this year our defensive line took a lot of pride amongst themselves, and they were kind of counted out a good bit, you know, and took that personally. And I think, you know, kind of over exceeded our expectations as far as production at times, just because we didn't have a big, you know, D1 guy out there. It didn't mean those kids took it personal. Those kids worked extremely hard. I mean, we did the same things every day, going back to what the consistency versus randomness. Our kids knew our routine. They knew what I was looking for. They knew what we were looking for as a team and as a program. And I think they played extremely well and were a big part in us winning a state championship. All right, so just basic code. We got a nose, a tackle. Okay, our strong end, we call him a rock, and our weak end, we call him a hammer. Okay, our nose would be our one tech. All right, he's got to have a motor. Okay, he's going to see a lot of double teams. This can be a wrestling type kid. It can be a big body. It can be whatever you feel like can go get it. Okay, whoever guys is knocking the guard back and controlling his A gap. This year we had a kid about 5'11", 6 foot, 250 sophomore, did a good job in it. We also threw in a 300-pound guy. We also had a 180-pound guy. Okay, whoever's going to come off the ball, knock them back. Okay, and is not afraid to get in there, get a double team. It's going to be our nose. Okay, our tackle is our 3 tech. For us, we like more a guy a little bit more technique. The guy we had this year, Motion Mile, was real good technician. I was pretty fortunate he understood a lot of football and was pretty football IQ smart and helped me out a good bit. But that 3 tech, I'm looking for a guy that's going to get his hands on linemen, so to control them and hold that B gap. Our rock, we're going to be head up to a tight end or 5 outside shade to a offensive tackle. Okay, I'm looking for a guy who's strong. Okay, you know, tight ends a lot of times they bring a tight end in the game, but the ball's going that way. Okay, we need somebody that can control the offense's tight end. All right, a half here, a tone setter. You know, our rock was extremely athletic, kind of played, you know, all over the field, and it was a big difference in our year, our season this year, just by using athleticism, being strong, controlling tight ends, and keeping tight ends from getting up the field. And then for our hammer, coach, I mean, this can be a kid who's quick or tough and athletic. These past 2 years, our starting hammers have both been 5'10", 5'11", 180, 190 pounds. You know, we started a kid this year at 190 pounds in the state championship. He does not need to be a huge man, but he's got to be able to control that C gap. He's got to be quick. He's got to be tough. He can get a lot of boots coming back your way. You know, he's got to play flat down the line. It's kind of what we're looking for. This year, we expect the same thing, a 190-pound kid to step in there and do a heck of a job for us moving forward. But we're not looking for, I mean, size obviously helps. It's high school. You know, I mean, we're gonna live with them guys that are 5'10", 5'11", 180, 190 pounds, and we're going to get them every year. But get them to play, you know, get them to be competitive, physical, and sound is the number one thing that we can do. Okay, it'd be nice to have, obviously, for everybody to have 6'4", 240, but it ain't going to happen. You know, we're not recruiting guys in and out. So these last 2 years, we won a lot of games with some smaller guys, but they gave me everything they had, and they did their job. All right, going to linebackers now. All right, we're a read and run team. We're run defenders first, and we're going to react up to the pass. Our Mike is designed to lead the team in tackles. In 4-3 defense, that Mike is a sideline player. All right. We have to hold him accountable because he is our QB of the defense. He understands that he is the guy. I'm on him the hardest because I have to be. You know, if he plays well, we have a chance to win. And our kid this year, Dylan Smith, did a fantastic job for us, you know, as far as playing the Mike. And he did lead the team in tackles, and he got everybody lined up. And, I mean, you got to coach your better players harder. And he did a fantastic job for us. All right, our will, I called it, my dad laughed at me. He said that's old school, it's just real school. But for me, our will needs to be a fearless guy. Okay, we had a guy this year about 6 foot, 200 pounds. We subbed in a backup about 5'7", 170, another one about 5'6", 170, and it's the same thing. Okay, those guys are going to be your B gap players. You can get a lot of ISOs at them, things of that nature. They got to be down here players. All right, fearless, getting through that B gap. We like blitzing in that B gap with the weak side as well. Okay, those kids got to go. I have 11 and 18 years. Our two players, Devon and Cameron, two completely different body types. Okay, both hard nosed and both did a fantastic job when we needed them to do that. But then one thing I like in that Will is the old school type guy, fearless, getting through the hole, making tackles.
Hey, Coach, you got 8 minutes left.
Okay. Our Sam is a little bit more of a thinker. Okay, he's a hybrid type player. He's got to be the adjuster in our defense. You know, if it's spread and it's widening out, that Sam's got to be able to adjust for us, you know, on the fly. And he's a little bit more of our thinker. He can also be kind of considered our star. Okay, and how we look at it, our outside linebackers can be interchangeable. Okay, who are we playing? What are they doing? How are they going to attack us? Okay, we're going to move those guys. So one week, our Will might end up being our Sam or vice versa, however it is, or even mid-drive. Okay, our defense can change and drop off the hat as far as being interchangeable with the outside linebackers, and we take a lot of pride in that. Okay, from our secondary coach, we're going top down. Okay, do not get beat over the top, something that we kind of had trouble with this year at times, but this is going to be our philosophy. All right, our defensive backs got to understand that they have to get in the fit. Okay, I've heard coaches, oh, no, these guys are there just to cover. No, bull. Okay, our DBs got to get in the fit. They understand that we are stopping the run first, and we want to make it through the football. Okay, but they got to know where to fit. So that's something that they got to be involved in all your inside run drills and things of that nature, and getting those guys to come off blocks. Okay, communication is key no matter what. Football, life, anything, but especially in the secondary. Okay, those guys don't communicate very well, we aren't going to succeed. Okay, we had some trouble coverage-wise early in the season. What was happening? We weren't talking. Okay, we have corners confused, secondary guys confused. Number one thing that we can improve on secondary-wise is communication, all right, and eye discipline. Okay, our eyes are whenever they're all over the place, that's when the ball is getting thrown all over the place. Okay, we gotta improve, and defense in general, eye discipline is massive. All right, for success, and that's something that we're putting a lot of emphasis on this offseason to improve our eye discipline and to make sure we're in the right spot moving forward. Okay, and that's kind of what we're getting at a little bit about personnel. Okay, know your players and know what they can do. I have here. We had kid Xavier Randall was a strong safety one week, a Sam Backer the next week, played a little bit of Will. Okay, he could do it all. He's kind of an in-betweener. We let him get on the field. We trust him. He can play. All right, Malik Green was a guy that was a strong end, very quick and can move laterally. Wasn't his best technique-wise. Well, against Carl, we want to get a little bit of three-front stuff. We got him in the nose, and he's slanting and getting in the backfield.
Hey,
yes, sir.
You have a question in your messages asking about your linebackers' base alignment and the coverages that you hang your hat on.
Okay. Our alignment, our backers' base alignment is that Mike's going to be in the A gap. Okay, the Will's going to be in the B gap, with that one tech, and in the Sam, depending on if we're tight end or not. Okay, he's a C gap player, or if we want to widen him out, we can. Coverages, coach, we kind of go with anything. If you want to go man, we didn't play all that much. We didn't really play cover three or anything like that. We played a good bit of man, two man, things of that nature, kind of disguising things. But we felt like we had some athletes this year. We got into a good bit of man coverage. Okay. Put the players in a place where they can succeed. That's the number one thing that I felt that as a defensive staff this year, we did a much better job in. And just, we're not putting a spot where a kid's just going to fail. Okay. You got to make sure that kid can do the task you want him to do. He can do that job. Okay. The way you want it to be done. And you got to practice it throughout the week. For me, I like competing all week. All right. If I'm going to call, if we can install a special blitz package that week, let the kids know and let them work it out to see who's going to be that guy. All right. I like putting in pass rushing packages where we'll get a little bit more speed on the field. Right, let them compete throughout the week. And then on that Friday, kind of let it all come through into fruition for you. All right. Don't be afraid to sub. It's something that I learned this year. Last year, we didn't sub very much. I think this year we probably played about 9 defensive linemen, not every game, but just about. A lot of those guys were young kids, sophomores, but we liked them a lot. They played extremely hard. They stayed in their gaps. So we give them a few snaps here and there. I have here, if you trust them, play them. And that's something that we did a good job with this year. We played 4 strong safeties. We had strong safety, a true one that was more of a run fitter. Then we bring in our starting quarterback at times. We wanted him to cover. We brought in our starting slot receiver to play overhang our strong safety. Just put the kids in a spot where they can succeed. All right, we felt that, that run fit, strong safety was not going to get over the top against Carr or against St. Thomas More, some of our faster teams we played against. So we had to, personnel it that way. Okay, it's a quote from Coach O today I saw. The better defenses are playing multiple. Okay, the better ones are playing multiple. And the thing that we love about the 4-3, it's very easy to go from 4-3 to 4-2-5 to 3-3-5 stack and do some movement stuff. Even going 6-2 against some of these run-heavy teams or a 5-2 look. We can come out and we call it blue as our base defense, and we can move to anything that we want fairly easy with the personnel that we got. And again, if we want to sub, we can, and kind of put kids where we need to be. But we had packages all year for 3rd and long or some kind of short yard situation where we line up in our base defense and then we can move to something else very quickly. Okay, and I only have a couple minutes left. Try to just show you guys an example real quick of us. I'll go get real quick against the championship game against Carr, showing you an example of that. Let's see. All right, so towards the end of the game against Carr, we had a lead, and we knew that had to kind of air it out and throw it around. So we added on. Let's see again. We added on a cover guy here. Okay, and all we did was we walked up our typical Sam linebacker, and we put him in a 5 and just let him go. Okay, he kind of right here. You'll see he's getting a big hit on the QB and can kind of change the game for us with momentum. But he's lined up in a little bit of a wide 5. Instead of him being a backer, we just kind of reduced the front, took out one of our bigger guys, and I rocked with the kids that could run towards the end here, try to get a little bit of a rush here. You'll see the backer here kind of chips the back, gets to the flats, and gets a huge hit on our QB, okay, and ended up taking the kid out of the game. But that was just something that we want to get a little bit more speed in the field, get a DB, put a backer down in the 5. Probably we're going to run the ball. He chips, kid rotates, and he gets a hell of a hit on him. And that was just something that we had worked a little bit during the week. Just work. All right, this kid right here, 12, is Davion Francis, kid that we're extremely excited about moving forward. That it's a speed guy, very aggressive. All right, get him out on the field. He's not the best cover guy in the world, but hey, we want to get sacks. We want to get pressure. Don't be afraid to move guys around like that and just work it during the week. We worked this a good bit with him going from a 3-man front to a 4-man front. Well, we didn't really love the 3-man that we kind of worked a little